Quote, "They're dead! Get over it! Poor little sandy asses. I'm sure all them dead folks they'd kill give 40 shekels or whatever kind of money these inbred sumbitches use, but I'd give 40 of them whatever it is to be humiliated instead of dead." That's unquote. Now, about being anti-gay, I honestly do take that back. I do not think that you are anti-gay. I didn't choose those words wisely. Your stuff isn't necessarily anti-gay, but rather stupid and easy. Madder than a queer with lockjaw on Valentine's Day? I mean, that's not funny. I don't care who you are. It's just so easy. I mean, over half the planet sucks dick, so why gays? Why not truck stop whores or Hollywood starlets or housewives? Why? Because when you say queer, you get an easy laugh. End of story. Okay, Larry the Cable Guy, I will ignore the irony of a big old southern redneck character actually using inbred as an insult, as well as the fact that a shekel is currency from Israel, the towelhead's sworn enemy. But at least you're passionate about what you see as inhumane injustice. Not on a global level, of course, but on a national level. And the simple black and white of what's right and what's wrong. It's kind of like you're this guy who speaks for all these poor, unfortunate souls out there who wear shirts with blue collars on them. Work hard all day to put food on the table for their family, unlike people who wear shirts with white collars or wear scrubs or T-shirts or dresses or costumes that consist of flannel shirts with the sleeves cut off and old trucker hats, and pray to the American flag of Jesus to protect them from the evils of the Muslim, queers, illegal immigrants, and the liberal Jews who run Hollywood and the media. I guess one could say that you're telling it like it is. And considering the vast amount of oversimplification you employ to describe with sweeping generalizations all of America and the world that doesn't make sense to you, as well as your lack of sensitivity and second-grade grammar, one might be led to think that you are somewhat proud of not appearing or being too intellectual. Combine that with your sucker appeal to the knee-jerk white Christian patriot in us all who would much rather hear 87 fart jokes than hear a joke in which President Bush or the Pope or born-again Christians or Lee Greenwood get called on their shit for being the hypocrites that they are, and I think we've got a winner. As for being a multimillionaire in disguise, that's just merely a matter of personal taste for me. I do not begrudge you your money at all. It is sincerely hard-earned, and you deserve whatever people want to give to you. What sticks in my craw about that stuff is the blatant, and again, this is personal taste, gross marketing and selling of this bullshit character to your beloved fans. Now look, if someone wants to pay top dollar to come to one of your shows and then drop a couple hundred more on Git-R-Done lighters and hats and T-shirts and windshield stickers and trailer hitches and beer koozies and fishing hats and shot glasses, etc., then good for you. I just think it's a little crass and belies the good old boy blue-collar thing you represent. But that's no big deal. Now, as for the last statement where I said we're in a state of vague American values and anti-intellectual pride, I think that's true. When you can rally the troops, so to speak, with a lazy, latte-drinking, tofu-eating generalization of liberals and back-ass ragfags to describe Arabs, then yeah, I think that falls in the ignorant category. I think that with even the slightest attention to the double standard and hypocrisy of both the left and the right in this country, if not all of the Christian extremists as a whole, coupled with the bullshit that they lazily swallow and parrot back while happily ignoring the gross, inhumane treatment of those that aren't them, so that we may have cheap sneakers and oil and slightly less taxes, although I'm sure the bracket you're in now gives you a ton of tax money back, then you could maybe see my point. Now, here's the best part. In your book, you preface the above quote by saying, I'm quoting you, "But I guess I'm not as intellectual as David Cross. In that Rolling Stone article, he sure showed us what a deep thinker he is by saying," and here you're quoting me, "America is in a stage of vague intellectual pride." You quoting me. Jesus Christ, Larry, can you even fucking read? Whoever read that article to you butchered the actual quote. The quote that was right fucking in front of their face. I would fire your official reader and have them replaced by a Hooters girl who doesn't fart. That way you have something nice to look at while you're getting your misinformation. As for anti-intellectual pride, man, that is Larry the Cable Guy in spades. Let me quote you again, and this is from an online interview, and I know you're listening to this audio version of the book, so you can't see the misspelling, so I'll just go back and read the misspelled words, or spell them out, that Larry said in his... Okay, this is from his online interview. I consider my jokes to be very juvenile, spelled Jeuvinille. Stuff a 14-year-old would laugh at because that's the sense, spelled Sence, of humor I have. Okay, that was easy. Well, I suppose I've already covered part of that in the above. But you also specifically dumbed down your speech while making hundreds of purposefully grammatical errors. How do I know this? It's on page 17 of your book, wherein you describe how you would Larry up your commentaries for radio. What does it mean to Larry something up? Take a wild guess. The reason you feel the need to Larry something up? Because you're not that dumb. I mean you, Dan Whitney, the guy whose name the bank account is under. You were born and raised in Nebraska, hardly the South, went to private school, moved to Florida when you were 16. This is when you developed your accent? Not exactly the developmental years, are they? At age 16, that's the kind of thing you have to make a concerted effort to adopt. Did you hire a voice coach, or were you like one of those people who go to England for a week and come back sounding like an extra from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels? As you said yourself in an interview once, I can pop in and out of it pretty much whenever I want. In your book, on page 89, you say in reference to the G shucks millionaire comment, this is again quoting you about me. See, to his, meaning me, to his mind, being well paid means I'm no longer real and I can't be a country boy anymore. It's just an act. Hey, it's always been an act. That's my fucking point. You admit it yourself. So cut the indignation shit. And I'm no way deriding your work ethic. You clearly have more fart jokes than most, and for that I applaud you. You go on to talk about how hard you work and life on the road and living on Waffle House and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get it. We've all been there and played shitty, degrading gigs and sacrificed, etc., etc. Then you say, I quote again, this personal attack was different because David basically hammered my fans in that Rolling Stone article by implying they were ignorant. He crossed the line when he railed against them, so I had to tell you what I felt about that. He can hammer me all he wants, but when he screwed with my fans, it was time for me to say something. Oh, that is so sweet and egregious. I can't stand that fan ass-kissing bullshit. You and Dane Cook ought to get together and have a my fans are the greatest people on earth and that's why I do this stuff off. You could both sell a shitload of merch, too. But, having said that, I would truly love to get some of your fans and my fans in a room together to debate some of the finer points on comedy, music, culture, the issues facing our country today, just about anything else we might find worthy of discussion. My fans are pretty smart as well. They are also, I imagine, as hardworking as your fans. Not all of them, of course, but most, and I'm sure that they may come up with some genuinely interesting, insightful points, and would do so without spouting a bunch of meaningless Christian platitudes. And if you really, truly want to respect your fans, hey, lower your ticket price as well as the price of your ubiquitous merchandise. I'm sure all those hard-working Americans could use the extra money now that the budgets are being cut drastically from transportation, education, health and human services, Department of the Interior, EPA, HUD, Farm Service Agency, FEMA, Agricultural Agency, FDA, VA, VHA, National Center for the Environmental Health, and numerous other departments and agencies that they might directly rely on for help. Also that we can pay off this massive tax cut during wartime that we're all getting, them not so much though. Oh well, that's just one of those political things that I think about occasionally. Anyway, I just wanted to address the stuff you wrote about me and clear some things up. Mostly the air around here. I just farted! All right, think of something to do and see that task to completion. Fart, David Cross.